Hello, my name is Krstl. I've lived in Boquete, Panama, beautiful Boquete, Panama, for a little over a year now. I moved here from Las Vegas, Nevada, and when it got close to the time for me to retire, I was looking for places to live, and I had a few things on my list. The weather had to be good all year round, not too hot, not too cold. I wanted a place that had no natural disasters or relatively few and mild natural disasters. And of course, cost of living was high on the list. Stable economy was high on the list. So the whole world eventually got shrunk down to Belize, Panama, and Costa Rica. So I decided, all right, now it's time to start traveling. So I went to Belize first, had a lovely time. It was wonderful, but I felt like a tourist. I didn't feel at home. I felt like I was on vacation. I had to do the snorkeling and I had to visit the ancient ruins. I felt like I needed to be entertained the whole time I was there. And being constantly entertained is not real life for me. So as much as I liked Belize, I knew that was not home. Number 2 on my list was Panama. So I came to Panama in June of 2017 for 8 days on my own. I rented a car at the David Airport. I drove all around everywhere, and I fell in love with Boquete. I knew it was home. I felt wonderful. I didn't feel like I had to be entertained all the time. It felt like a place where I could relax and just enjoy life. So when I got back home, I started doing my research, and the research took me all over the internet. I had a notebook full of questions and answers, and what was discouraging was sometimes I would get 10 different answers to the same question. If I went to 10 websites, I would get 10 answers. So I did a lot of research, but I was still confused. At that point, all I knew was that I loved Boquete. So finally, I did the research from June to December. And then one evening in December, I just couldn't take it any longer. I was just too confused. So I said a little prayer, went and sat outside and just asked for help. I want to make this move to Boquete. I cannot do it with the limited knowledge I have. I need help. So I drank my tea, came back in, picked up my laptop, and Jackie Lang's Panama Relocation Tour popped up. So I looked at a lot of the videos. I read everything. It sounded good. I went back to my little notebook. Almost every question in my notebook, she had the answers to. So I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Now this is December. So I'm done with the research. I'm just going through her site, looking at more videos, more testimonials. I called her a few times. She was always there to answer my questions. I sent a few emails. Everything seemed really good. So I booked in January for the June tour, and I moved here on the last day of the tour. I had pre-arranged the selling of my house, the getting a moving van to take my heavy furniture to my children in Chicago. My lovely granddaughter was the recipient of my car, so I got a car carrier to deliver that. So everything was set. I knew I was going, everything lined up. So on the last day of the tour, I spent the first night in my new apartment. Consider everything. Look at everything that's important to you and check it out. It's always best to, if you move in high season. If you move in the winter, you want to sign a short lease so that you can get out of there. If you move in the summer, you want to sign a year's lease because that allows you to look for housing and move during low season when there's lots of availability and the rents are lower. Some of the things I love about Boquete are the weather, the mountains, it's green. Many places you can live right on the stream. It's clean, it's quiet, it's peaceful. And I think the most touching thing for me is how warm and friendly the people are. Everybody feels like family. Everybody helps each other. They're there for you no matter what it is. If you're in Boquete, if you make one phone call, you're gonna get 10 people responding, and I love that. And I like green and mountain, and here we are. I've got everything. My best experience since I've been in Panama is how warm and friendly the people are. Coming from the United States, this is so totally different from anything I've ever experienced. In the US, I'm Black, I'm old, and I'm a female. That is not a favorable position to be in the US. Here in Panama, I don't know if they don't notice or they just don't care. But I feel like I'm treated just like a person, a human being, not a woman, not old, not Black, not poor, not female. I'm just treated like a person, and that to me is the best experience in the whole wide world. And of all the places I've been, I feel that more here in Panama than anywhere else, but that I'm so, so grateful. And my worst experience in Panama, a couple months after I moved here, the streets were not paved, and I was walking to town, and I fell, and I broke my wrist. I didn't know anybody. I was alone. I didn't have a car at the time. I felt isolated, and it was a scary place to be in a foreign country with a broken wrist, and you're all alone. As soon as I fell, 2 Panamanian women that were walking toward me dropped their bags, got on the ground with me to make sure I was okay. I do not speak Spanish. They did not speak English, but I was able to figure out. One of the women was saying, "Come with me to my house and I'll have my husband take you to the hospital." I was so touched. A total stranger offered to make sure I got the medical help I need. So I insisted that I was okay and could go on my way, and they were grabbing me and didn't want to let me go, but I eventually did get where I was going. And from there, I asked, "Can you call me a cab? I need to get to the hospital." And they directed me to a doctor's office, which was right down the street from where I was going. So I went to the doctor. She sent me for an x-ray. I ended up in David at Cherokee Hospital, and I did have surgery, and they did insert a metal plate and 7 screws in my wrist. I don't have any type of insurance, so I had to pay that out of pocket. But for the orthopedic surgeon, the hospital bill, the whole thing came to a total of $6,500. In the US, when I was working, even with my medical insurance, the part I would have had to pay out of pocket would have been more than that. So I'm happy with the medical care here. If you can get insurance, by all means get it, but because I'm over 70, I don't qualify for the worldwide insurance, so I just pay out of pocket. but the prices it's reasonable, and the doctors are top flight. One of the things that was on my list when I decided I was going to have to leave the U.S. when I retired was cost of living. And the cost of living here in Panama is just phenomenal. My rent here is $775. I have 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Internet is included, Wi-Fi. The only thing I pay is gas and electric. And last month, my electric bill was $23.74. I have a 25-pound propane tank for the stove and a 25-pound propane tank in the laundry room for the dryer. I've been here 3 months and I have not had to change out my propane tanks yet. And when I do have to change them out, they're telling me it should be a little over $5. One of my neighbors said $5.38. As far as shopping goes, that is an experience unto its own self. You just have to be open. All of the local brands are cheaper than the imported things, so just play around with them. You might find chips that you like that are just as good as the ones we're getting in the States for a third or a fourth of the price. You just have to be willing to check them out. And we have a couple of really nice department stores right here in town. Anything you can't find here, hop on the bus for, I think it's $1.75 for young people, and for us retired folks, it's $1.20 to ride the bus to David. And in David, they've got a big store that's like Target in the U.S. We have a store that's like Home Depot in the U.S. So pretty much anything you need. If you can't get it here in town, just hop on a bus, go to David, there it is. If that doesn't work, there's always Amazon.com. You would think language would be a barrier since I do not speak Spanish. However, I am learning, and Spanish lessons are available when I find the time to squeeze it in. But Google Translate on my phone has become my best friend. I have found that if you walk in a store and you ask for what you're looking for and you use your best Spanish, they so appreciate that you're trying to speak their language. They usually say, "Un momento, por favor," and they go and get someone in the store that speaks Spanish. They like it when you try. So come on down with whatever amount of Spanish you have. Learn as you go. Keep Google Translate active, and you'll find that the language barrier is not as big a problem as you would expect. So if you're considering coming to Panama, please take the Panama Relocation Tour. It'll save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of heartache. One of the things that impressed me most about the Panama Relocation Tour is the information was all accurate and up to date. One of the websites I went on that had a lot of information about Panama, and I was really impressed. I'm writing it all down in my book and going back and comparing notes. And then one day I went back to that same site, went all the way down to the bottom, and that stuff was 8 years old. Who needs 8-year-old information? With Jackie Lang's Panama Relocation Tour, Jackie lives here. She knows what's going on. She knows what changes are being made. So any information you get on the Panama Relocation Tour is accurate, and it's always up to date. So you don't have to go to 100 different websites and 200 different people and end up with 500 different pieces of information. You'll have a wonderful time on the tour. The hotels are nice, the food is good, whether you like mountains or the beach, whatever it is, if you like cold, if you like a little hotter, you'll find that on the Panama Relocation Tour. So everything you need to know about coming to Panama is in one package. It's the Panama Relocation Tour. It is the best decision I made before I made the move here. So take the tour and enjoy. Thank you.